Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Bullington and this is the Campfire. Today we are talking 4-5A Division II, where Fort Worth ISD is a majority of the district. After realignment, this district consists of Colleyville Heritage, Arlington Heights, Northside, the Parrots of Fort Worth Poly, Southwest, Trimble Tech, O.D. Wyatt, and Grapevine. The Grapevine Heritage rivalry is back to being a district matchup for the next 2 years. Those are going to be some heated battles. Let's start things off by analyzing these teams in our film session. Colleyville Heritage drops down from Division I, where they went to the regional finals last year. The Panthers will be led by quarterback Weston Smith, who threw for over 2,600 yards last year. Smith will have sophomore Braden Blewett to throw to, who was first-team All-District MVP as a freshman. Grapevine won this district last year and will need another strong season from district MVP Parker Polk to do it again this year. On defense, the Mustangs return newcomer of the year Leighton Towery to help confuse their opponent's offense. As for Fort Worth ISD teams, there is plenty of talent to go around. Southwest was a playoff team last year and brings back Offensive Player of the Year Rylan Carter, who is just a sophomore. Speaking of talented sophomores, Cade Barrett returns behind center for O.D. Wyatt, as they too were a playoff team last year. Arlington Heights has seen quite a few players transfer from other high schools this offseason to make them feel like they could be a contender. Northside will see some steady improvement to get back to the postseason like they did 2 years ago. Poly Tech lost a lot of first-team All-District players due to graduation, while Trimble Tech will need to improve on a one-win season a year ago. It will be interesting to see which Fort Worth teams step up to make a playoff push. All right, let's dig even deeper into 4-5A Division II as we bring in our Inside High School Sports Insider, Matt Diggs, along with producer Ward Fasold for our district breakdown.
All right, it is district breakdown time, 4-5A Division II. We got my guy, Professor Diggs, our Inside High School Sports Insider. This is an interesting district. It's got Heritage and Grapevine renewing their natural rivalry, which they're going to play the game anyway, but this time at least it's in the district, and it means a little bit more. Plus a ton of Fort Worth ISD teams. What do you think is going to shake out in this district?
Yeah, I could muse about this district a while. I'm excited about this district because I love districts where you have clearly defined tiers, because not only can you kind of analyze what's going to happen between the tiers, but within the tier, because every now and then you're going to get a team breakout. And, you know, like we've talked about, I know one of your best stories a couple of years ago was Fourth Northside and how, you know, ending that playoff drought. And although I don't think you're going to see any great stories like this in this district, you never know. And that's the great thing about it, is when you have these teams kind of broken up into tiers, you can kind of look at it, okay, well, obviously our top tier is going to be Colleyville, Heritage, and Grapevine. I think they'll be battling for 1 and 2. Then I think you got that second tier. And I got 3 teams. And there's going to be a team that's real mad that they're left out of the playoffs, because I think all 3 of these teams can make a claim that they're playoff teams, and that's Fort Worth Southwest, Arlington Heights, and then Fort Worth Wyatt. And then you have that third tier that I think will be battling each other very competitively, and if with a young class could jump up into that second tier, and that's Fort Worth Poly, Northside, and Trimble Tech. So I'm excited about this district, because not only am I going to be looking at who's going to make the playoffs, but how are those tiers working out, and who's going to arrive from the tiers and get up and maybe even vault to that next tier.
I will talk to you next week, Diggs.
See you down the road.
Diggsy and Wiz will have even more about this district on our social media platforms this Wednesday, or if you just can't wait, hop over to our podcast, Inside High School Sports DFW, on iTunes and Spotify to listen to the extended version of the Campfire. Now, let's take a look at some of the athletes you should keep an eye on in this district and our players on the rise. At the running back position, it kind of feels like Grapevine's Parker Polk has been in the Mustang offense for a while. However, with his senior year coming up, Polk is looking to go out with a bang. His junior year, Parker accumulated almost 1,400 yards and 19 touchdowns on the ground, and in the passing game, Polk is an all-purpose back that was offensive MVP last year. He should make a run at that distinction again this year. As just a sophomore last year, OD Wyatt's Cade Barrett was a big problem behind center. He threw for over 3,000 yards and 35 touchdowns to go along with just 3 picks. Barrett loves to show off his strong arm as he waits for his receiver to get behind the defense. And then Cade unloads. Look for more eye-popping numbers from Barrett his junior year. Another quarterback that should put up big numbers this year is Weston Smith of Colleyville Heritage. His junior year, Smith threw for over 2,600 yards and 29 touchdowns. He's 6'5" with a strong arm that allows him to rifle one in through even the smallest holes. Weston has his grades intact too, as he's verbally committed to Princeton to play college ball. Brandon Forrest of Northside is primed for a big senior year in 2022. He's a major player in the Steers offense as he ran for 725 yards and also caught 13 passes for 200 yards. Forrest is a threat in the special teams as he ran 2 kickoffs back for touchdowns last year. As a first-team all-district player, Forrest will be relied on for a monster year if the Steers hope to visit the playoffs. A huge year by one of those guys could be the reason why one of these teams makes it to the postseason. Award Fasold caught up with Arlington Heights head coach Phil Young to talk about the Yellow Jackets' chances in this district and our Media Day segment.
All right, it is Media Day. We are talking 4-5A Division II, and I'm joined by Arlington Heights head coach Phil Young. Coach, I appreciate you joining us. This new district you're in, the last, 2 realignments, you can kind of be put in a district where it was a struggle for you guys to pick up some wins, but being in with your Fort Worth ISD familiar foes, it may help a little bit, wouldn't you say?
Yes, putting it mildly, yes. That has been the topic of our prayers for a long time. I'm surprised my hair hadn't fallen out over the past 4 years. We've had a really tough district that we've been in the past 4 years with some quality teams. And not that our team is not capable enough for the challenge, but we just knew what we were getting in. It was one of the toughest districts around. We played 8 or 9 sophomores up this year and had a big junior class up. And I've been in it long enough to know that the little brother grows up, and the little brother got beat up this year. But little brother's growing up, and it's amazing to see.
Earlier in this interview, you talked about, hey, let's play Aledo, let's go up to Aledo just so they can see what it's like. Well, now maybe you have a different mindset for your non-district games because now you're actually preparing for a good shot at making the playoffs here. So who do you have in the non-district, and how do you hope those games help you out?
Well, we played Joshua, and then we play Frisco Panther Creek, and then we play Waco University. And, when you go 2-8, a lot of people call you. So I got a lot of phone calls, but I really feel like those are quality teams, no doubt, but I felt like that I had a poker hand that nobody could see, that I got a bunch of aces. I have no problem with whoever's on our schedule because I really believe, number one, our boys want to go undefeated. They want to be a 10-0 team in the playoffs. And we believe we can do it with a lot of hard work. And even if we don't, and we fall a little bit short, we're going to shoot for the stars. If we fall short, we may land on the moon anyway.
Well, I appreciate you joining us, Coach, and good luck this year.
Thank you, Ward. Appreciate it.
We'll post the entire interview on all of our social media this Friday. Or if you really have to hear what Coach Young has to say today, go over to our podcast on iTunes and Spotify to listen to the extended version of the Campfire. That's going to do it for this week's show. Join us next week when we move on to 5A Division II. It's what we like to call a hodgepodge district, where teams from all over settle into one district. You can keep up with everything on the high school football scene on our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram accounts. Until next time, I am Ashley Billington, and thank you for watching The Campfire.